Marcus Holloway had worked as a custodian at Ridgewood Middle School for nearly 15 years. He was a quiet man who preferred the silence of the empty building after students had gone home. The empty classrooms, dimly lit hallways, and distant hum of fluorescent lights felt strangely comforting to him. But there was one part of the school Marcus hated: the basement. The basement was where the boilers groaned. The old storage room sat untouched, and the smell of mildew clung to the air. Most of the staff avoided it, even during the day. Marcus had grown used to being the only one who had to make trips down there for cleaning, repairs, or to shut off the lights. One night in late November, Marcus stayed later than usual. The teachers had left, the halls were silent, and only the buzzing of the exit signs broke the quiet. His last task was to check the basement. With mop bucket in hand, he descended the creaking stairs. The air grew colder with each step. Halfway through mopping the storage corridor, Marcus heard a dragging sound. It was faint, like something heavy scraping across concrete. At first, he thought maybe an old chair had fallen over in one of the storage rooms. But when he stopped, the sound stopped too. A shiver ran down his back. "Probably pipes," he muttered, forcing himself to keep working. Minutes later, he felt a cold draft sweep past him, though the basement had no windows. He looked toward the old furnace, but nothing seemed out of place. He pushed the mop again, trying to ignore the growing unease. Then, the sound came back closer this time. Drag, drag, drag. It echoed from the far end of the basement hallway. Marcus froze, mop handle tight in his grip. He called out, his voice unsteady. "Hello? Anyone down here?" No answer, only silence. He forced himself to walk toward the noise, each step echoing on the concrete. At the end of the corridor stood the old basement door, a steel door no one used anymore. It was rattling violently, as if something on the other side was trying to break through. Marcus's chest tightened. There was no wind, no reason the door should move at all. And then the rattling stopped. Marcus swallowed hard, gripping the doorknob with trembling fingers. He considered opening it, just to prove to himself it was nothing. But before he could, a sharp bang erupted from behind the door, so loud it made the walls vibrate. Marcus stumbled backward, heart racing, and dropped the mop. The basement fell completely silent again. He wasn't alone. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He replayed the rattling door and the loud bang in his head over and over. By morning, he convinced himself it had to be old pipes or a draft. Still, when he returned to work, he avoided the basement for as long as he could. But 2 nights later, duty forced him back down there. The principal wanted the storage rooms cleaned out for winter supplies, and Marcus was the only one willing to do it. Armed with a flashlight, he descended the steps. The air was colder than before, unnaturally so, as if the basement walls were leaching the heat from his skin. His breath puffed visibly in front of him. As he worked, the dragging noise returned. This time, it was not faint. It was loud, deliberate, and slow, like something enormous was being pulled across the floor. Marcus shined his flashlight, but the beam revealed only empty hallway. "Not real, not real," he whispered to himself. The rattling of the steel basement door started again, harder than before. Metal clanged against the frame as if it would rip from its hinges. Marcus gripped his flashlight like a weapon. "Who's there?" he shouted, voice cracking. The rattling ceased. For a moment, he thought it was over. Then, the dragging sound began behind him. Marcus spun around. The hallway he had just walked through was dark, the overhead lights flickering. In that flicker, he saw something, a shadow, long and twisted, moving along the wall without a body to cast it. His chest heaved as he staggered back, his flashlight shaking in his grip. The shadow stretched toward him, dragging itself closer with every flicker of the failing light. Marcus bolted for the stairs, but the moment he reached the first step, The basement door slammed open on its own. A blast of freezing air surged out, carrying with it the sound of whispering voices, low, guttural, overlapping. Marcus dared to glance back, and what he saw rooted him in terror. A figure stood in the doorway. Not solid, not human, its form rippled like smoke, but its eyes glowed pale white. It stepped forward, and the dragging sound echoed with every movement. Marcus ran, taking the stairs 2 at a time. He didn't stop until he burst into the main hallway, slamming the basement door shut behind him. The next morning, Marcus quit his job at Ridgewood Middle School without explanation. He never set foot in that building again. But sometimes, when he closes his eyes at night, he still hears it. Drag, drag, drag,